Shalom. Kahala Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom and salutations and double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, the elders, prophets, and teachers of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. Shalom to the speckled bird, the confused face, the Akim and Aqua, who also subscribe to Men of Great Millstone, the Akim on the highways and byways, and last but not least, the elect. And I'm going to entitle this simply, Privileges of the Devil. I just came across this video on TikTok. I was watching it, and some scriptures came to my head, so I figured I'd get them and play the clip, and give you a couple of the scriptures that I came up with. I would like to desire you will be edified with it. There was other ones that I had in mind too, but these are the ones that I came up with. So I'm gonna play it and let's get it.
So if I have a right to do something, I don't require permission. So if I have a right to keep and bear arms, then I don't require a concealed carry permit. They are contradictions in terms. Did George Washington and Thomas Jefferson have gun permits?
Now, what is privilege? Let's get the word real quick and go to the etymology, and let's get the word privilege. Let's see what it means. Let's see what I got here. It's a mid-12th century word, and it's directly from the Latin privilegium. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Law applying to one person, bill of law in favor of or against the individual. And that's what it is. They were privileged, and we were, and it was against us as far as Esau is concerned. The exemption of one individually from the operation. So, and this is what they had us into. They had us in operation, and they were privileged to do the things that they were doing, having us in slavery. So he's he's a little sarcastic about it. So, it's almost, it's obvious to me that, but it's obvious to me he's an Edomite, because we teach that you've got to judge the spirit by the spirit. So just because someone look like a heathen doesn't mean that they are part of the heathen nation. But I'm almost certain this dude is he's an Edomite. But let's continue.
No, it was ridiculous. I mean, you were required to have a gun, basically, to defend the United States. So if they didn't have a gun permit, and we do now, where was the first gun permit? When did we write the first gun permit? Just after what we call the Civil War. It's actually a war between the states. If you had a right to do something, you don't have to ask for permission. White people had rights. Black people were slaves. They had no rights.
So you see that? You see how he's speaking about it, and how he's talking about it as it's almost like he's kind of upset that times have changed to what they are now versus what they used to be, because like he said, that the Edomites had rights and the Israelites did not have rights. So-called black people and white people. This is Daniel 7:25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change the times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, until dividing of the time. So the Lord allowed Esau to rule over us, and to wear us out, and to put us in straits, and to put us in chains, and to get free labor off of us. You know what I'm saying? But he just went too far.
The 13th Amendment, which says there's no more slavery. Well, gosh, if there's no more slavery, then blacks and whites are all the same, right? So you're going to give the black people guns after you've just had them in chains? And I don't think so. They may be a little upset with us.
So he's being sarcastic about it, but you know what I'm saying? You're talking about, are you going to give them get them guns, and everything is triggered by, and especially in Babylon, everything is triggered by what privileges Esau could have versus the privileges that Jake could have. And if basically Jake and Esau, be on the same they can't be on the same level. One has to be higher than the other. And who doesn't get that is Jake, man. We don't realize that this is Esau's kingdom, and he runs and controls it and rules it, and therefore we cannot be um, equal to him, even though he uses words like that in a trickery way. There's no way for him to allow us to be involved with some of the things that he's involved in and get away with some of the things that he get away with. That's why when we do it, they throw the book at us, and it was always the penalty for doing things against Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah, and also, the laws that Esau set up was maybe double, quadruple versus what Esau would get for doing the jobs. I mean, doing dirty things. This is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So, this puts us in a position to learn to not trust our enemy, but foolishly, a lot of our people do. We trust our enemy and we believe that he actually cares for us when this man cares nothing for us. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And this is what this man is. He's the son of the wicked. He's a wicked man.
Giving them a gun may not be a real good idea this week. And so what we did was we gave blacks privileges. Okay? Well, this guy's not going to be really angry with. We'll let him do it, but not this guy over here, because I can still see his eyes. He's angry. So blacks were given privileges with the 14th Amendment. How about a marriage license? Did Thomas Jefferson and George Washington have a marriage license?
So you see again, he's going back to the forefathers, the forefather devils of establishing Babylon the Great, and he's showing you that he's telling you as you listening, that nothing's changed to this day. Everything is kind of centered around what Jake can and can't do. And once Civil War was over, a lot of things happened because that was the proclamation, Emancipation Proclamation, Salakia. So when that happened, that changed a lot of things because Jake was no longer physically slaves anymore. They had made laws for that, to change that, but then they rewrote laws to continue to keep us in slavery by the 13th Amendment, I think it is. Just kind of like rebooting slavery, if they can get you, they can get you inside the prison houses and such and so. And this is what they did. They formed a system that would keep us in prison homes. Proverbs 5 and 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. So that strange woman is wicked philosophy. You know what I'm saying, that they have used. And they told you, yeah, you equal. They told you Yahweh Shai is a so-called Edomite. They told you they told you crazy fables like the serpent is a snake. They gave you pagan holidays, Easter, Christmas, along with some other ones. They've taken away your true biblical names and given you made-up names that they came up with. So, these are some of the things that Esau has done to keep us down and to keep us confused. That's why when you notice, and when I'm gonna use hip hop for an example. When hip hop music was being created, it went through stages. but it was righteous until we were African, we were African Egyptians, we were we were Islam, um, even with the other nations, we were we used the Moab philosophy. We also used the Ammon philosophy, which is the Chinese and Japanese philosophies, and we had nothing to call our own, and we were oppressed from where we was at, and they used that against us. So now, I say in the past, I mean, this truth has been out way before that, but I say now in the past 20 years or so, um, the Great Awakening has happened, and and brothers have been going on the highways and byways and preaching and teaching the scriptures, and it's contrary to what um, Jake has learned throughout the time in the course of being here as slaves. And now we becoming a problem to the world because we're telling the world that okay, well, we're the chosen people, we're the Israelites. So it was all right for us to be thugs, criminals, adulterers, murderers, pimps, gangsters, all of those things, until we decided that not decided until we woke up and found out who we truly are. And now it's a big problem. This is Jeremiah 14, 17 and 4, Salakia. Even thou, even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So we lost our heritage, and we started serving our enemies. And to this day, we are found in our enemies' hand, and we serve our enemies. And one of the biggest things they took from us is our heritage. Um, Sirach 17:11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. So that's what separates us from everybody else, is that the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakradash, gave us a heritage. He gave us law, statutes, and commandments to separate us. Read Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Um, Micah 2 and 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence. Esau did take us by violence. And the houses and take them away. They did come into our homes. And they're going to do this again prior to this NWO. There's nothing new under the sun. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So this is what they done when they brought us here, after the after Civil War, Salakia. Um, After that, we were free as far as on paper, and they couldn't stand that, man. So they had to become even more violent than they was when we weren't they considered as property, because they treated us like when we were considered their property. They didn't treat us with respect, but they treated us to the point where we were a valuable stock to them. We were livestock to them. You don't just go around and slaughter your sheep and your cows and your, you know what I'm saying. You nurture them until the time is right for you to use them for whatever it is they need to be used for. And this is what Esau was doing with us. He was making us breed more slaves and everything else. But after the Civil War, we became free, so-called on paper. He lost it, man. He started murdering us up, man. He started and he showed no remorse. He murdered our children, murdered our women, murdered our old. He did for sure was taking out our old, I mean, our young men.
Today, just about everybody has one. Where was the first marriage license? Right after the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
If two white people want to get married and have children, they have a right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
They can do anything they want with their property. Now, whites don't have to ask anybody for permission. Blacks we really didn't care. Two black people wanted to get together. We basically considered that animal husbandry.
So you see how he's associating himself as he's talking, how he truly feels about Jake. You know what I'm saying? Never trust thy enemy, man. And even though this man is telling the truth, he's also very proud about who he is and how he feels. You know what I'm saying?
But what if a black person and a white person want to get married? Oh gosh, we can't have that. We can't allow mixing of the races now, can we? The white person can do anything they want. The black person can't. The black person has to get permission. So the first marriage licenses were permission for interracial marriages. And I have a copy of Black's Law Dictionary. Now this is Black's Law 3rd edition. This is about 1870s, I think, somewhere in that time frame. And so it's an old book, and I got a copy of it, and I've looked up marriage license. And it says, quote, a license or permission granted by public authority to persons who intend to intermarry. Right there in black and white. A marriage license is for mixed marriages. Well, eventually that was working so well that we just applied a marriage license to everybody. Why do you need permission? If you go to a wedding, how many people are in that contract? Well, you got the man, you got the woman, but that's not all. You've also got the state. The state is there giving you permission. Why? Because you asked. If you ask for permission, that's pretty good evidence that you needed permission.
So this is what they're going to try to do with the CHIP. They're going to bring pressure from above and from below, and instead of them trying to force it in the beginning, they're going to want the masses are going to beg for them to give the CHIP, because they're going to make the CHIP seem like it's a nice thing. It's going to help, and it's going to be the key for the future to move on, for things to work out better, and we won't have the issues that we're having now. And all it's letting you see is that Esau is a wicked demon, man, and he set it up that you're going to be begging him to become his perpetual slave. Word.
Why would you ask for permission if you don't need it? So you've got the man, the woman, and the state. There are 3 entities in this contract.
And this is what he has done once they brought into because I think 1903, I think early 1900s they started with the Social Security card, but then before that they started birth certificates, and the birth certificates were surely to and not just Esau, I mean not just Jake, but Esau as well, because the Rothschilds, and so these major families would get together in a summit and figure out, what's the best way to continue to keep everybody, not just Jake, but everybody, and under slavery. And the latest form they came up with was feminism. You know what I'm saying? Maybe one day Ara Rakazak could do a video on that. But that's how we're in the position that we're in now. And look what they're doing. They're manipulating the prices of everything. And from everything from food to homes. And you got a lot of people, especially women, who were in the workplace in the past 30, 40 years. They need help. It's not as easy as they thought it was going to be, just to go to work and just do what they wanted to do, and be so-called independent. But now look at the situation. This is First Maccabees 1:9. And it reads, "And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them. Many years and evils were multiplied in the earth." And this is where we're at now, man. Esau is a freaking demon, man. And everywhere he goes, man, he creates wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Every nation he goes to. That's why like the scriptures say, the beast is going to hate the whore. The whore is America, and the beast system is the NATO system, along with other countries who are not involved with NATO. They're all going to attack the whore, which is Babylon, because of all of the wickedness and the democracy and the strange fruit that Esau has produced here with Babylon. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna have to pay for it. The Lord has them in a trick bag, and He's about to let them see. The whole world is going to see actually who Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai truly is and who He's here for. Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, "We are impoverished, but we will return and build in the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever." What is indignation? Is righteous hatred. And this is what the Lord has for these people. And these people must be destroyed, as the scriptures have said they would be. So, all we have is this faith and this word. And we know for a fact, those who are truly understanding of this word, that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai will not let us down. He's always had our back.
So now the state has a vested interest in the outcome of this contract. Well, what is the general outcome of a marriage contract? You put a boy and a girl in a dark room for long enough, what's going to happen? Children. So now the state, because they are vested in this contract, they have a vested interest in the children. How can this social worker come to your door?
So this is how they can attack your children. This is what they're doing now, and they're letting the moles into the schools now, and they starting to become teachers and everything else. And this is something that we need to be paying attention to, because it's a lot of I'm gonna say emo going on, and with that, what I'm saying, they're gonna use the draconian laws to justify it as if it's okay. But we have to, because most of us did not know about the contracts and things that we were signing with birth certificates. We are subjected to sending our kids to these schools to be indoctrinated now with the Mo philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Which is another strange lady. You know what I mean?
And say, you're not being a good parent, and take your kids away, because they own them. If you have a marriage license, the state has partial ownership in your children. That's how they can demand that your children go to school. They want their children in school, government schools. Now, if you don't get a marriage license, if you just say, hey, you're pretty good looking, you want to sleep together? What do they call that?
They call that true marriage, instead of the government being involved in your life and what you do. Here's another last scripture right here. This is 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself over all that is called the Most High, all that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Esau, man. Esau.
That's a common law marriage. That's probably the only phrase where anybody knows the phrase common law. Well, what is common law? Well, I don't know. That's what two people know. It's not. Two people get married. It is a common law marriage because it is based on property. And we will get to Article 3 of the Constitution later.
So I got one more scripture. One more scripture. Let me see here. Oh boy. I should have got it, but it came to my mind. Let's see. Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So now he's mad. He's trying to get it back. So he's doing all kinds of different things to keep us down, because he truly knew who we are. We don't know who we are, because his job is to keep us from remembering and knowing who we are. Because if we did, it's like we have they beat us so much. They beat it out of us who we truly are. And now we're coming back to understanding who we are. And when we do that, it's over for Esau. You know what I'm saying? His time is up, and he knows it. This is why he got to move fast. He got to get that NWO going, so he can implant that C-hip. So Abba Rakazah, you were edified with that, man. I'm gonna say, Kahalo Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah Bahashim Rakakwadash. Shalom again, and salutations, double honor to them in the great millstone. Shalom to the Akim on the highways and byways. And last but not least, the elect. With that, I'm going to say, Shalom.